and welcome to another episode of PodcastDX, the show that brings you interviews with people just like you whose lives were forever changed by a medical diagnosis. I'm Lita.
I'm Ron.
And I'm Jean Marie.
Collectively, we're the hosts of PodcastDX. On today's show, we are speaking once again with Barby Ingle. You may recall Barby from our episode about migraines and other things.
Yes. Hi, Barby.
Hi, Barby. Good to have you again.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me back. Hopefully that means I did well on the first interview. So hopefully I can be just as entertaining and offer more tips and tricks to better living in this episode.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
And yeah, you can tell that you were a cheerleader because yes, you have
That
positive outlook and positive
motivational everything.
Yes. Barby, I have a question. What adjustments have you had to make to your work and your life because of the coronavirus, the pandemic, the lockdown?
Actually, everybody in the pandemic and lockdown joined me.
Okay.
I developed valley fever and valley fever pneumonia right before the lockdown.
Oh.
And I was on a breathing machine for 3 months, my immune system's really bad on top of everything else I deal with.
Right.
Oh.
And I was already on lockdown and was on a breathing machine from November to February 2019 to February 2020. So in March, I still was pretty sick, although I didn't need a breathing machine to help me breathe. But if I got COVID, I could not have survived.
Right.
I would have been done.
Yeah.
On Earth.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very scary.
Wow.
So I felt like my whole world stopped, and then the rest of the world kind of stopped. So everybody just joined me in my misery.
You had a jump start on it.
Yeah, you're the trendsetter, huh?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, in that case, I was.
Right. And Barby, how have you maintained your friendships through the lockdowns and everything?
I turned to a lot of video chatting. I miss seeing people in person. And although I was always protective of myself with germs, even more so, I found that even now it's like coronaphobia. I don't want to be around people, but I still want to be connected. So when people would say social distancing, I would say, no, be socially connected, physically distanced.
Yeah. There you go. That's right.
So I try to do that through Zoom and having basically Zoom meetings or video chats, Facebook chats, so that I could still see people and interact, just not catch anything from them.
Excellent.
Yes. And Barby, how did the pandemic change the way that you received health care?
Well, I have had telemedicine with my primary care doctor since 2015. So I'm one of the lucky people.
Well, good for you.
But all of my specialists that I see that are part of my big team that helps keep me upright, they switched to telemedicine. And I also helped get legislation passed here in Arizona for telemedicine to stay a thing after the pandemic. And once the society opens back up fully, I said, we need to have this full time because it literally saves time, money, effort, energy. And so the only time I would have to leave is to get x-rays or labs or things that have to be hand-on. But everything else, I've been using telemedicine, and it's just saved me. And if you've seen my show on TLC, Extreme Time Cheaters, you know I love saving time.
Yeah.
It saves me time.
To
use telemedicine.
Good.
That's excellent. Wow. I didn't know you were in Arizona now. How long has that been?
I've been in Arizona since 2003.
Oh,
but
okay.
I traveled a lot. So I would be on the road all the time. And with coronavirus and the pandemic, I am home. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So
okay.
So now I feel more than ever. But we did move in March to a mountain town in Arizona that's right outside of the valley, the desert floor. So we are like up on a hill now.
Okay.
They call it a mountain here, but
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's more of a, okay.
Aren't you guys at like 120 degrees or
Yeah,
something
I
like
was gonna
that?
say, what city are you near?
well, I'm in Gold Canyon now, which is in the Superstition Mountains.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's about 45 miles from Phoenix.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot.
Like
Yeah,
straight east.
that is pretty hot.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I think we should ask for sure, what adaptations do you make for dealing with the heat?
Well, I actually like heat.
Okay.
Do you? Okay.
So 105 is when I feel my best physically.
Look at Lita.
Oh my God! I think I would self-combust.
You know, we have my aunt, and my uncle, my mom's brother and sister-in-law live in Gilbert,
Okay.
and my aunt is from Zimbabwe and likes heat. And when we
Yeah.
went there in November, it was like 70 degrees, and she had the fireplace on,
Yep.
and we were like,
That's one.
Wow.
Our blood thins here.
okay,
So after a few years of living in this climate, your blood will thin,
okay,
and so you get cold very easily.
yes.
Hence, I'm wearing long sleeves in the middle of
Oh.
summer in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Oh yeah. No, it's not.
we're melting just
I'm
thinking
sorry,
about
But
it.
yes.
one quick thing though
Yeah.
is they don't have the humidity out there.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Oh, no, it
absolutely. The
It,
humidity
it matters a little bit.
A little
It
bit.
matters.
It
Okay.
does.
I know,
It
but
matters.
I still melt.
Yes.
No, I'm not disagreeing, but if you hydrate,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
But you
swear.
don't feel yourself melting.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't
Right,
feel
yeah.
yourself melting here.
Combust.
I can just see
I combust.
walking down the street with Lita, and all of a sudden, poof! I see dust on the ground. Where'd she go? All right.
Barbie.
Let's get back to
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
what about for your work or at home? Any changes or adaptations to help you with your life?
Because of COVID.
Well, yeah.
Well, making sure I have upgraded my camera, and
Yeah.
And we did move to a new house, so it has to be totally re-outfitted because of microlepsy and RSD. We had a lot of things in place in our old house that had been there for years.
Right.
So when we moved in here, we had to put our blackout curtains up. Of course, when we moved to this house, we had a green theme at the last house, and this one needed a whole new color palette just for the ambiance of the house. So we had to go get new colored curtains and everything. But we have blackout curtains everywhere so that when I am having migraines, we can try to avoid seizures with blackout curtains and keeping it quiet. We actually live right next to the highway now, even though we're in a tiny mountain town. We're right on the highway, and we get a lot of highway noise, which we didn't have at our last house. So I have to be mindful of that. And Dish Network has a channel that is just a mindfulness channel, and they have like nature sounds or videos.
good.
Every month it changes, so you get something different. And this month is like hot air balloons over the desert. So it's really pretty to see, but it also helps drown out some of that traffic and sharp sudden noises that can be painful for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that I didn't even think about that. The noise is something that it's hard to avoid when you're near a highway.
Right. And actually, yeah, I know we set up our house where, unfortunately, my mother's room is near the street, and I'm away from the street, so I have quiet when I have a migraine. But I do feel for her when she doesn't feel well, that she's right there and can hear road noise.
And we live across the street from a runway.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Airplanes you can't really avoid when they make noise.
But it's not always. It's just occasional.
Yeah.
Barbie, over the past year or so, what role has self-care taken in your daily routine?
Well, it became even more important. Having valley fever, it affects your lungs, kind of like COVID does. And I actually have a 6mm mass on my right lung on top of the lung issues that I had prior to getting this. So it really has given me determination. It strengthened my determination, my just positive attitude, and knowing that I have to move forward. Every day that I wake up is a blessing, and no matter what challenge I face that day. And it just showed me that I have to use self-care even more, and that there's some things I just can't go without. So I have to have them in my life and have them around just to make it through a day now.
Okay.
Wow.
With, excuse me, with chronic health concerns and your busy lifestyle, what helps you find a work-life balance? How do you manage all of that?
Well, not being able to breathe properly it put pain into perspective.
Okay.
So it really showed me I was pushing myself very hard, and helped me see where my boundaries are, and actually helped me learn when to push and when to rest.
Okay.
I've always known, like, okay, it's time to push my boundaries a little. It's been a few months. It's been 6 months. Push and see if I can do more. Oh, I can't. Back it down. When I couldn't breathe properly, and that whole situation happened, it was sudden. It was literally like I went into an event and I was fine, and I literally had to have help leaving.
That's terrifying.
Wow.
And it really, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to more of living life versus work during, especially those first 3 months of it. And also being allergic to the medication. They are like, this is the best medication on earth.
Oh, no.
And I
talking
actually
about
was
that.
allergic to it, and I took it for 10 months.
Oh, my
Oh my
God.
goodness.
So it was making me worse. And the lung specialist kept saying, no, this is what you're supposed to have. So I underwent a pharmacogenomics test, and that showed me that medication was, I was allergic to it. And then the doctor believed me.
Oh.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah.
So I really had to just stop working. But I had so much work in the can, as we say,
Okay.
ready to go. People didn't even realize that I was gone for so long,
Okay.
because I had fresh content to still put out and use. And it took a long time for people to realize, oh, something's wrong with Barby. She's not here, because I had all that stuff ready to go and backed up.
Okay. Well, that might be, that's a good tip for anyone with the chronic illness. That's
When you're feeling good, take advantage of
Right.
it and pile up as much as you can to
Yes.
rely on later.
yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So Barbie, what's next for you and Ken?
Whew. Well, we have Chronic Pain Awareness Month coming up, as well as November and the International Pain Summit.
Right.
We are currently working on the winter and spring edition of iPain Living Magazine. So we're a little bit far out on that as well, and looking for submissions for articles. And I've been doing a lot of interviewing and sharing my new journey that I've gone through over the last 19 months with COVID, but also with Valley Fever. Not me having COVID, just the whole world having
Right.
to deal with COVID. And so I think the topics, the challenges, the things that we face have all changed into a new direction
Right.
because of COVID. So I think that's kind of where I'm going, is exploring and talking to patients that have long haulers and trying to understand the challenges that they're facing and how I can help them. And so that's the kind of new projects that I'm moving and graduating towards.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the long haulers. I just had a quick question. Is Valley Fever something that might come back to haunt you?
Yes, I actually still am positive for Valley Fever, although I have both the antigens and the antibodies and the actual live fungus in my body right now. I am doing better, but I had reactive airway disease secondary to RSD prior to getting this. And so I already had challenges with my lungs. This has made it quite worse. So I was walking a lot and building my stamina up through walking. And this has given me low, although I'm throwing all my energy out there right now for you guys. I will go rest after we're done with this interview, and that I've had to take a lot more rest, and I have not been able to walk since November 2019, except for twice I've participated in like walking or rolling. I actually did a roll on a sit down bike, and this last one I couldn't even do that, and so we rolled to participate on our golf cart.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, you do what you can do.
So the
right?
amount of physical activity has definitely decreased.
Right.
Okay.
Just so that our listeners have a little bit of an understanding, what exactly is valley fever?
Oh, it's something that you can get if you come to the southwest of the United States. So if you're coming to California, Arizona, New Mexico, you really want to pay attention. This is the tip for you. Put your air, when you're in a car, put it on recirculate. Do not use fresh air.
Okay.
You want to keep it on recirculate because it's a fungus in our dirt.
Oh.
And I can promise you, I did not go and play in the dirt.
Okay.
I got this. My lung specialist believes that I got it from not having our car on recirculate.
Okay. Wow.
I breathed it in, and my body is weaker than the normal person. My husband, around the same time, got it. He didn't even know he got it. He just got tested to see, and he was better within days. Like he didn't even, it wasn't even a bump in the road for him. It wasn't even a pothole for him.
But somebody that's already immunocompromised or something, they would really get hit.
Because of the RSD, I'm immunocompromised, so my body could not fight it at all. And like I said, we both contracted it at the same time. He didn't even know. I couldn't breathe.
Okay.
Right.
Was it difficult to diagnose too?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I try to block that part out, but it's important.
Yep.
They thought that I had a bacterial pneumonia. So at first they put me on an antibiotic. Well, fungal infections, eat antibiotics for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snack.
Jeez.
Every time I took that antibiotic, I couldn't breathe. It was worse. And they were treating me for the wrong thing for 21 days.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You've been through the ringer.
It started as one tumor or mass on my lung, and after the 21 days, it was like the night sky nebula across both of my lungs into my lymph nodes. Yeah. It just exploded.
Did you post a picture on Instagram?
I did.
I thought I saw that. Yes. I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh my God, look at all those.
Yeah, well, it's shrunk back down and it's in one spot now, but that spot is holding on and it's still not happy.
Is it something that they could resect surgically?
They could, however, they won't look at that for a while because it still is weak.
Okay.
And just with RSD, surgery is a bad idea unless it's really needed. So they said, if I get to the point of needing a breathing machine again, and I can't breathe, that they could possibly go in and do that.
Okay.
But they're trying to avoid surgery as best that they can.
Sure.
And since I've stopped the medication, that's the world's best medication for valley fever, the only medication for valley fever, I've actually done better.
Okay.
Even though I still have a lot of challenges with extreme exhaustion and headaches and coughing fits, I still am doing better. I can't take full deep breaths yet, but I've stopped that medication and that has helped a lot.
Okay.
But it will be something, because I can't take the medication to fully eradicate it from my body.
Right.
My body just has to learn to fight it, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and not that this is a great thing, but I know there has been a higher incidence of fungal infections from war zones like Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran, in those areas where so it must have to do with the the desert environment or something of that nature, and individuals who were injured had a higher chance of ending up with a fungal infection, and they had, a lot of difficulty treating them.
Because their immune systems were compromised because
And
they were trying to
fighting off-
fight the
yes.
injury.
I think so, and also just they opened up areas and exposed a great number of
Sure.
areas to the fungus,
Wow.
and so maybe there'll be
Yeah.
some treatment
Well-
options and other, things coming out of all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's I hadn't heard that,
Mhm.
but they say every time there's an earthquake, it shakes the spores of the valley fever fungus into the sky,
Right.
and so it's
Oh, wow.
easier after an earthquake. It's easier to breathe in, and it literally I can promise you, dogs, cats, anything that's outside can
Right.
get the fungal infection.
Oh,
'cause
so
they
the
have to
animals
roots to the
can
ground.
also
Oh,
get it.
okay.
How common? I mean, I was reading up on it a little bit, but how
Yeah.
common is it for somebody that visits that area or moves out there?
It's rare. I mean, it's considered a rare disease probably because it's only found in the Southwest and that I know of. Maybe it's in other desert areas, but in the United States, it's just in the Southwest. So it's considered a rare disease, but I've heard of it since I moved to Arizona. They said, don't play in the dirt because we have this thing called valley fever. So
Mhm.
I literally don't do much anyways in the dirt,
Right.
but I
Gardening.
Yeah. Yeah.
avoided the dirt.
Yeah.
And
What about the
and
vegetable
never knew it
gardeners?
could,
Oh
it
my.
could fly up into breathing.
Right. Right. And also, it may be something that's often misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it can be
Yeah.
challenging.
They thought it was pneumonia with
right.
you.
Right. Or bacterial based. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they thought it was
Wow.
a bacterial pneumonia.
Boy, that's a ball of.
You've had quite the year.
You've had quite the life.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. You've had quite the life.
Thank goodness that you started out a cheerleader.
Right. And we're gonna
Right?
try to turn this around
Okay.
and look on
Okay.
a positive note. And we're gonna talk about tips, hints, and tricks in a lightning round segment of the show.
Okay.
I mean, kind of
Fun.
like a game show.
Kind of like a
Kinda
game
like it.
show.
Yep.
Yep. And Barbie's gonna do good at this. Are you ready, Barbie?
I am.
All right.
Okay.
Why is a positive attitude important to you?
Have you ever seen a negative cheerleader? when we're losing 50-0, we're still out there cheering, and it helps you get through the day.
Good answer. 10 points. All right. How do you keep that positive attitude during COVID? Or during any severe?
Have you ever seen a
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a negative cheerleader? No. I keep positive through hope. I
Okay.
always have hope. Sometimes I have more hope than other times, but I always have a sprinkle of hope in my life to stay positive.
I love that answer.
To
10
know it
points.
can get better.
10 points. All right.
Ooh.
What is your go-to meditation guide?
Well, I recently changed it, and I've been active with teletours, which is something you can do from home. And I have a secret code. It's iPain,
Okay.
and you guys can do it for free. And they range from like $20 to $40 normally, but all of your listeners can use iPain as the discount code
Okay.
and do it for free. You can travel all over the world and experience stuff with live tour guides that take you through town or take you through. Yesterday, we went through a castle in Bolivia. It was like beautiful.
Wow.
I
And
love
you
it.
can experience this and be mindful and feel like you're out in the world doing something
Mhm.
when literally you're in your own house in your pajamas or whatever you're wearing and need an escape from this world or this house or wherever you're stationed at this time.
Great. And what's the name of the site again?
And go. It's called teletours.com.
Teletours. Okay.
And yeah, I've gone on multiple tours now, and I actually I'll post it on Twitter and say, hey, I'm going on this teletour. Join me for free.
Oh.
All right.
Don't pay the money. Join me for free. Use my coupon code.
I love it. Thank you.
And
Well,
you're welcome.
We will
It's
put
a
that link
great
on our
mindfulness
website.
I'm
tool.
looking it up right now.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. 10 points for that one, too. All right. Do you have any tricks for dealing with stress?
Avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Jean said, too.
I do. So I avoid stress as best I can, but obviously stress is a part of our life.
Yes.
So when I'm under a lot of stress, my anxiety builds. And one of the things I do to release the anxiety is I rub my hands together, and that releases anxiety for me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you can find, like, some people do like a tapping technique,
Right.
tapping on my head, but usually they'll like tap on their arms or legs.
Okay.
But there's a tapping technique, but I like to rub my hands together and then I build all of the stress and anxiety up and throw it away.
All right.
Okay.
And then I concentrate by being organized. I'm a organizing freak. And I organize better and take it on in smaller pieces. And if it's just too overwhelming, I stop that and take on something that's more mindful and purposeful, and then come back to whatever that task is. And a lot of times it makes it easier for me.
Excellent answer. Great. 10 points. What do you always bring with you to the doctor's office?
Easy. One pager. I created a one pager years ago to help get organized for myself. And I started bringing it to my doctors. On that one pager, I have my list of medications, all the medications I'm allergic to, my questions that I've come up with during the time in between appointments. I write them down as I go. And so that I can remember them when I get to the doctor's office, because it's like a vortex and everything escapes you when you walk in there.
Yep.
So it's right on my paper. And then they always ask every time, give us a list of all your surgical procedures. Well, I have over 50.
Whoa.
So that's like the bottom half of my one pager. And when they ask you that on the forums, I'll put see attached.
There you
And I
go.
Okay.
don't list any of them.
Right.
I just write see attached, and it time cheats me through the appointment.
Good.
My
Good. Excellent.
doctor loves it. My doctors love it, but my primary care doctor loves it, because when I've had emergency situation, this is way longer than lightning.
Right.
But
Okay.
That's okay.
my doctor loves it. When he said that when I have to go to the emergency room, he pulls up my latest one pager instead of thinking through his own notes.
Right.
He pulls that up and reads it to them, so the ER knows what's happening before I arrive.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
That's a great
It
job.
changed everything in my care. It changed
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
That's a good team.
I love it. Great answer. 10 points.
Woohoo!
All right. What do you use as a distraction during long waits in the doctor's office?
Well, with telemedicine, I haven't really had long waits. Also, at the doctor's offices, I would like read the magazines and literature they have there, but because of COVID, most offices have
Right.
taken that out.
Right,
So when I've
right.
had to go in person, that's all gone.
Right.
So I don't really have much except for my own mind.
Okay.
And I also like to play Tetris.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like Tetris. That's
Nita's
good.
favorite.
Yeah. Sounds good. 10 points. What do you do to work through pain flares?
Get in bed.
Okay.
Good answer. There's a lightning round
Yep.
answer. Give us 3 of your favorite recreational pursuits.
3 of my recreational pursuits. I like to drone, and my husband's a drone pilot, so I like to watch him drone.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
And we've created our own mindfulness videos with the droning that are seizure safe.
Okay.
So that's good. The second is we moved to a golf cart community, and we have a peak inside of our community. So we'll take our golf cart up and look at all the nature on the trails,
Okay.
and then sit at the top and look at the whole Phoenix Valley from Scottsdale down to Tucson, which is quite a
Wow.
view.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the third thing now is the teletours. That really is something that I'm enjoying and doing more and more, and use it for mindfulness and to help de-stress.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Great answer. 10 points. What animal best reflects your personality?
A billy goat, because they're fearless. They can stand on the side of a mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and they can put all 4 of their feet on one tiny little rock, and then they can jump, even like on a side of a mountain where you could fall to your death. They're fearless, and they jump to the next rock, and they just know they're going to land and catch themselves and be fine. And I want to live like that.
Excellent answer.
Mhm.
10
Now
points.
I feel really bad for when I answered this and said Juanita,
The
The
armadillo.
the
Armadillo.
armadillo who sleeps on her walking wheel. Okay, sorry.
Barbie, what last question? Oh, no,
Okay.
no, second to the last question. Nope,
Okay.
last question. Okay. What do you do to treat yourself?
Well, I recently found out that soy interacts with one of my medications, so I had to cut out soy.
Oh,
Okay.
And which is good for my physical health, but it's hard for mental health.
yeah.
Because I love donuts and candy and cookies, and they all, especially chocolate, have soy in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been searching for the best dessert to treat myself,
Okay.
and I recently found a little flat cake, and I've been eating those for a treat.
Okay.
Oh, I can celebrate flat cake.
Good. Good answer.
But it almost has no flavor.
Oh.
Oh.
But it's a treat.
Okay.
All right.
There
The
you go.
closest thing I found to a treat that doesn't have soy.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
job. You got 100 points, and we have a winner.
Woo woo!
Barbie, thank you
How
so
about
much
this?
for.
Can I give a gift? Can I give a gift? Like, you guys come up with a way to give away one of my books, and I'll mail one of my signed autographed books out to one of your listeners
Yes,
as a treat
sure.
for me winning.
Absolutely.
That's so kind of you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get back with you on email to get that from you.
And I was going to say, I think we bought your book online. Is
Yeah,
it
we
Wheels
did.
to Heels?
Yeah.
I have Wheels to Heels, and I also have a children's book, so they could choose. I have 9 books, but those are my 2 favorites: Aunt Barbie's Invisible Endless Owie and From Wheels to Heels. So
Okay.
they could choose either one, whichever one that they need
Oh,
most in their
that's
life.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. We will definitely be putting a link on that for our website. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And thank you for joining us and cheering us up, because you definitely put a smile on all of our faces today. Thank you, Barbie.
Yeah, your positive
you.
attitude is infectious. And it's the
Good.
only infection we want.
Well, have you ever known of a negative cheerleader?
No, never.
Never.
Well, she's the
That's
only
going to be our new favorite saying.
Yeah, she's our own
Oh, good.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
Barbie, do you have any last minute tips, hints, and advice to somebody that has been diagnosed with a rare disease?
Yes, know and learn about your disease. Reach out and seek out help, and create your oasis around you so that you can live your best life moment to moment.
That's fantastic advice.
Yep.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is. And once again, thank you for joining our show today, today. And please tell us how our listeners can learn more about you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to follow you guys and see what you're doing. And people can learn about me personally at barbyingle.com, which is really creative. It's my name. And or you can go, if you need help with chronic pain or rare diseases, you can go to internationalpain.org and get help with education, awareness, social events, and access to care.
Fantastic. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If our listeners have any questions or comments related to today's show, they can contact us at podcastdx@yahoo.com. We have a website, podcastdx.com. We're also found on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram.
And if you have a moment to spare, please give us a review wherever you get your podcast. As always, please keep in mind that this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice or diagnosis or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regime. And never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you've heard on this podcast.
Till next week.